everybody, welcome. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. We're here walking with a group in front of the group as they march down Washington Avenue. This is a march for Lionel Lewis. Lionel Lewis died after a police interaction in 2002. This is his daughter right here, and it's her birthday. And so she's doing a protest for her birthday. This is the first time that Lionel Lewis has been represented in a specific march. And she felt that this year was the year. And so here is a few hundred people out here in Minneapolis, in downtown Minneapolis. There's a large sound truck that's leading the way. Also just getting reports that a man might have died on Nicollet Avenue over South Minneapolis, either during a police interaction, like killed by police, or may have shot himself. That's something that just happened in Minneapolis over South. We are on Washington Ave and Park, about 2 miles away from that. We're gonna follow this march as this march searches for justice for Lionel Lewis, as well as reopening the case and for accountability. The march started with a demo at the U.S. Bank Stadium.
Black lives are under attack. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Now this one's for all the families. All right, y'all? Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
Going to go over the Stone Arch Bridge here in Minneapolis. As the bikers riding against police brutality, I think, are running some traffic protection. Again, here's a big sound truck.
Prosecute the police. No justice. 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 Prosecute the police. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11. If they don't get no justice.
We have the Justice Frontline Aid out here.
If we don't get no justice, 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 hold up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need them,
saying HPD, prohibiting police department.
Who killed him? Who killed him? Boots.
So Lionel was,
Boots on
his family
the
says
ground.
Lionel was beat to death. They left him in the back of a cop car for over an hour and a half. On a very hot summer day. And after beating him up, he had an eye coming out of his socket. And his family also said that he died in the police car.
They said the police just
Yeah, Nicollet Ave, yeah. No, it's not confirmed if the police killed him yet or if he shot himself. I heard two different stories. Yeah. How you doing? Nicollet Mall or what? It's not Nicollet Mall, that's all I know. They just killed somebody. I think they're gonna make a notification to everybody that the police shot somebody.
Yes. Do y'all want to march to the Nicollet Mall? They just killed somebody over at the Nicollet Mall about 15 minutes ago. The police just killed someone. So, do y'all want to? Well, Mia wants to go ahead and march to the Nicollet Mall where he just got killed. It's whatever you want to do.
John Campbell.
Destination, and whoever wants to go, we can go from there.
Today is Mia's birthday.
Yeah, this is Mia's birthday, and she's dedicated this to her dad. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue the march for her father, for Lionel Lewis. And once we make it to the park, we're gonna spend some time still there with Mia to celebrate her father's birthday. And then after, it's her birthday, Lord Jesus. It's her birthday. And then anybody, after we celebrate for Lionel Lewis, then anybody can go over at that time. So we're gonna continue to march for Lionel Lewis. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute
I just heard the announcement that
no justice,
possibly
no peace.
the police killed a person on Nicollet Mall, possibly 8th Street. I'm not sure. If you have the internet, check it out. You can find out probably. Be aware of misinformation and be aware of spreading misinformation. Make sure you verify information before you spread it. Okay. Hey, this is what I'm seeing too, that the man did shoot himself possibly, witnesses are saying. I heard that 3 times now, so it might, I don't know. It might be a suicide. No, the man shot himself. So there's a tweet coming through. Oh, you cannot see that.
Execute the police. I can't believe you got a play still.
A man shot himself on Nicollet Mall after police came running up on him with rifle and gun shown. This person said they watched it happen. The PD was driving erratically, stopped, and leapt from their car with guns extended. No effort to de-escalate. Scene is very tense. So that was written 34 minutes ago on the last bit. This is the Twitter of Diane Anderson, so just to check that. I can stay on. So what the tweet said is that a man shot himself on Nicollet Mall after police came running up on him with a rifle and gun shown. This person said that they are at the scene, they watched it happen. This is just a tweet, this is not verified. This person is, again, Diane Anderson. They're an author. And I don't have any reason to think that they're lying, but, so it's always good to cross-check. That's the 3rd time I've seen that the person might have shot themselves as opposed to police shooting them. Yet, you can also make the correlation that if the police roll up on somebody with their guns drawn, leap out of the car, they had something to do with his death. Because therefore, he probably wouldn't have died had the police not. You're okay. Had the police not been leaping after him with guns drawn. So we'll pay attention to that after this march goes across this bridge and then comes back into downtown to walk over to Nicollet Mall. So again, here's downtown Minneapolis. That's the Mill City ruins. Again, this is Mia in the left. Her father. Her father died after a police interaction. You see the sign, demand the reopening of the case 1218-263 or 1-218. Oh, this is the number, phone number, excuse me. That's the phone number to call. 1218-263-3601. That's the number to demand that they reopen the case of Lionel Lewis. So here we go with the bikers leading the procession. You see the Walker Art Center, or Guthrie.
Shut it down! Shut it down! Send those killer cops to jail! The whole damn system is guilty as hell! Send those killer cops to jail!
How you doing?
I'll meet you next week too, okay?
All right, I'll do what I can. As we go over the Stone Arch Bridge here in Minneapolis, you see the crowd is sort of not that much chanting going on. After that first round, here circling, the chant comes circling to the back. Justice now. The chants start up again with Lionel Lewis. Again, so Lionel Lewis was in northern Minnesota, from my understanding. He was a black man with a white girlfriend. A neighbor called the police on him based on some debate or argument that was happening. The police came and sort of beat him up, threw him in the back of a squad car. He died in their custody. They called his death excited delirium. And similar to the story we heard earlier this summer of Nakia Moody, we heard from her sister about the story of her, and she also died after an interaction with police, and they called it excited delirium, her cause of death. Independent autopsy, from my understanding, was calling it positional asphyxiation, in very similar modes of the George Floyd killing, where police will positionally asphyxiate people with their limbs and kneeling on them, sitting on them, pushing on them, causing a person to die underneath their grasp, die from lack of breath, and from other causes that are related to the police interaction with them. So Mia, who was at the front of this march, specifically started to get activated to want to make a protest during her birthday and celebrate her birthday in this manner, to celebrate her father, who is now dead. From my understanding, she was 1 when this happened. We'll try to find out more a little bit later from her. And as we heard, that there's evidently a police-involved shooting. Doesn't sound like the police shot the person, but the person might have shot themselves as the police were about to apprehend them with guns drawn, leaping out of the vehicle in downtown Minneapolis, not too far from where the march started. This is the Mississippi River, if you're wondering what river this is. Very hot day out here in Minneapolis. Very muggy. A brief update from Kenosha, if you haven't been paying attention to that, or if you're just sort of trying to catch up. 2 people were dead, and 1 person other was shot. Not sure their condition. They were shot by basically a white 17-year-old. We'll call him a man because that's the way the media would do the person who wasn't white when they're 17 years old. They would call that person a man. So we'll call him a man, 17-year-old man, militia member. Can't remember his specific name. Evidently, he's been arrested, charged with first-degree murder during the uprising in Kenosha, which is the 3rd night, I believe, last night. Militia members organized themselves on 4chan and Facebook. Kenosha Militia ran a Facebook event. InfoWars pumped that event. A few dozen militia members showed up, protected some businesses in Kenosha. During some commotion, one of the militia members, 17-year-old, sort of ran after somebody, shot him in the head, ran away from the shooting. While he was running away, this is all caught on different videos, by the way. While he was running away, people were yelling, "Get him! Stop him! Why? Because he shot somebody." Okay, the kid said he didn't. The man said he didn't. So he's running and says, "I didn't shoot anybody." But then people start to run after him, like, "Yo, he just shot somebody." And right after that, what happens is people try to disarm him, and as they try to disarm him, you saw people immediately kill. You saw the 17-year-old immediately shoot to kill 2 other people. One of them he shot in the chest, one of them in the arm. Here's the Father Hennepin Bluff Park. I'm not sure what the event is happening here, but there's definitely an event happening here. There's a whole bunch of folks that are sightseeing the protest walk by. You see a person saying, "Don't be uncomfortable. We've been uncomfortable." This gathering has a security firm watching its back. WW Security. W&W Protection. All cops are Kenosha cops with triple Ks. See, the crowd on the left is liking the message. Fists up. One of the persons is like, come on, let's go join them. So, anyways, the brief update about Kenosha is that evidently they arrested the person. He killed a couple people. The militia members said that they were out there to protect property. They obviously showed it was a little bit more than that. The 17-year-old showed that it was more than that. There was chatter about people saying thank you for showing your true reasonings to being out there. Not specifically thank you, but what's up? But something like that move definitely showed them.
How you doing, Nico?
Good, how are you? So again, we're here. This is Lionel Lewis' daughter right here in the middle. Lionel Lewis is who people are marching for right now. They're calling for a reopening of the case of Lionel Lewis, who was killed after a police interaction in July 2002. There goes, this person got a ticket. That's never good. They got so much security at this park. House. The Black State Fair. That's what it seems like that is. There goes an enclave. Some new condo buildings with evidently a pool right there and an overlook into the park. You can obviously tell where the new buildings are and where the old ones are. You see the old ones sort of on the left. New, newer, newest. And you can only guess how much rent has gone. Sort of skyrocketing through the roof over here in St. Anthony, Maine area in Minneapolis. Again, there's a situation that happened in downtown Minneapolis. It seems like this march is going to march there after this stop or after this move right here. first saw those murderous City of Lakes police signs the other day at the Kenosha rally. After the Kenosha rally, the police made a targeted arrest and they arrested 5 youth. After that, they brought out people to the first precinct and then to the jail. Hundreds of people were protesting downtown. Some of the jail windows were broken. I think 11 people total were arrested during the night. That happened after the Kenosha Solidarity Rally here in Minneapolis. We spoke to 2 of the arrested ones, and we just posted their video onto YouTube very recently, and so you're able to check that out on YouTube. And if you want to hear it from the perspective of 2 of those who were arrested, targeted and then arrested, one of them was sort of brutalized. He was very bloody, sort of scraped across the concrete, and he ended up getting no charges and let go. He believed the reason why was that the police didn't want to take a mugshot. They didn't want to have to account for beating him up. So check out those interview along with the arrest footage on YouTube. Unicorn Riot has a YouTube. We have a Twitter, UR_ninja. On our Twitter, we post a lot of media. We're also on Facebook, also on Vimeo and Instagram, unicorn.riot. We do not populate our Instagram feed as much as we probably could, and we'll try to be doing more of that. Here is a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Actually, he was killed in Hibbing, Minnesota, July 14th, 2002. And this is the first time. She's very young and she's doing everything for her dad by herself. And her brother now is here for his birthday.
Put a lot into this. There's food, there's cupcakes, and I think cold water for everyone too.
You just heard Marquita say people are staying out here for a little bit. There'll be some speeches. There's going to be some cake. And then people are welcome to check out the Black State Fair. And also people are going to march over to Nicollet Mall downtown. It's very hot out here again.
Like love at first sight, and at the same time I was like, so it was so funny. We were in such a hole.
I went to stay off the phone for 2 weeks straight.
I don't think I'm going to touch more on that. Just because the point I'm talking about, I can do probably like 10 minutes from now. I'm like,
So we're going to talk to Mia in about 10 minutes or so. We just sort of set that up. What up? How you doing?
Watch Unicorn Riot. Donate too. We need them. Period. Unicorn Riot. The truth.
Thank you. This is Ashley Quinones. She's coming up on 1 year.
Yeah,
1 year of her
7th.
widow. You want to talk about Brian real quick?
Well, I'll just say I have my husband's event is going to be at Roosevelt Park in Richfield on September 7th. That's the first year year mark that he was murdered. And it's from 6 to 9, and it's going to be free food from Twin Cities Relief Initiative, and we're just trying to make it a positive event for the community. So,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nico.
That's Ashley again. Brian Quinones. If you want to know more about Brian, check it out on our website, unicornriot.ninja. This is food. This is Twin Cities Relief Aid, and they're doing very incredible things. We sort of just caught up with them the other day at Toshiro Garraway's Justice for Justin Teigen event, celebrating 11 years since his fateful encounter with the St. Paul police. Maybe not celebrating, but celebrating him on the 18th, on the 11th anniversary. So again, this is the Twin Cities, I think, Relief Initiative. relief aid. And that was them giving a thumbs up and a high five, essentially. Again, they do good stuff. Right up here, you see Christina Page. We spoke with her also at that Toshira Getaway Justice for Justin Teigen event. There's Toshira right here, walking with the little baby. This is a growing community, unfortunately, of victims of police killings. Unfortunately, it's because they're growing. The community is not unfortunate that they're creating it. Here's Jamar Clark's sister. So there's just tons of victims' families of stolen lives here in Minneapolis. That was Christina just waved over here. There's a lot of independent media out here as well. Again, check out Kenosha, what's happening in Kenosha, obviously. Very sad news. Very sad to see 2 people lose their life. So, beyond that, here in Minneapolis, we'll give you a couple quick updates. Again, 2 days ago, there was a Justice for Kenosha, or Justice for Jacob Blake, in solidarity with Kenosha rally. That rally ended, it went to the 1st precinct, and it ended back at the government center. From that rally, there was some graffiti that was put onto the 1st precinct. There was also then possibly a flag that was taken from the precinct. Police ended up supposedly, evidently, through the scanner. We know this. The police sort of followed, specifically talked about and followed specific people. Those specific people was a group of youth. That youth has been organizing around George Floyd Square for this last few months, and they've been consistent in their organizing. They feel that they were very much targeted. 10 people, I feel like it was the number that was detained. I think 5 were arrested. 6 first, 6 right away. I've heard 8 got detained, and then 6, and then 5 arrested. One of the persons who sort of got beat up, we spoke to him. He had his face scraped across the concrete. His elbows were all bloody. The police did not charge him, so he was released after like a very short period of time, not even going through booking. The rest of the people, I feel like, are out minus 1 or 2. And of those people, last I heard, were on a hold. I do not know updates. I heard the Minnesota Freedom Fund was helping. That's something you'd have to check out through other measures. You can find that out if you wanted to know more. But if you want to know more about the information that they provided, they being the 2 of the arrested, check out our YouTube. We have an interview with them that's now published. We'll have a post about that in the next few days, hopefully very sooner than that. So again, here we are in Father Hennepin Park. We are going to talk to Mia in a very short moment. I will get some interviews going on and give it a second. So here's the sound truck. Again, I'm trying to find out new information about what's happening downtown. There was a person who was possibly about to get apprehended, or the police were trying to apprehend somebody in downtown Minneapolis, heavily armed. They were jumping out of their vehicles before they were stopped, evidently, and the person possibly shot themselves. Not sure the specifics, but that's what I'm reading on the internet, on Twitter. We got cupcakes and cold water, you heard. People are starting to eat. Thank you.
Alright, if you just get here,
They're actually going to have performances
especially
up
the
until
march that
8
you
o'clock.
came,
And so the ones
this
that
is
we
the
want to be
Black Faith Fair
respectful
right
of
next
both
door.
of us being here, so we're going to wait
So happy birthday to Mia.
to start at 8. So if you guys
Peace and
want
happy
to
birthday to
be
Mia.
performing over there, y'all can enjoy it. There's going to be cake, cupcakes, things like that, free food from Twin Cities, relief in the
And we're gonna get some performances going over here because that's what we have stuff going on. Vendors, food, merch, drinks.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you want to come join us, but you're gonna have to go around and get a temperature check, get a wristband, and you're more than welcome.
Hey, Nico.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, hey, man.
How you doing?
Damon?
I would give you daps, but my hands are. Can you do me a favor? Could you find me a napkin?
Can you just go look around?
Like maybe. Oh yeah. That's all I needed you to start it. Thank you.
Check.
There you go. Thank you so much. Sorry, muy bon.
Yo.
Sorry about that. Wipe my hands off. So, we'll speak to Maya, Mia, or Maya. I'm not sure which it is. Very short.
Cross over the border. It's totally fine. So if you guys need something to do, go walk around, go support local Black merchants. And like I said, the speeches are going to be starting at 8 now because there's going to be performances literally right across this walkway over in Black Lights area. And so, yeah, if y'all can stay put for another hour, Mia's family's going to start speaking at 8. We have multiple speakers, and then we have performances as well later in the evening. Thank you.
Again, if you want to come around, please do. You gotta go around.
Yep, I'm ready. Are you a brother? Is your son too?
Hey, Nico.
Good to meet you. My name is Nico.
Nico, nice to meet you. What's your name? Deshaun. Yes, sir.
Sorry about y'all.
No problem. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Nico, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good to see you.
So you all can hold this side by side if you want, or I can hold it for you. It just got a little bit greasy.
What we need is this natural
We're gonna interview Mia and her brother. 1 second. Would you all want to hold this, or should I hold it?
this? Okay.
So yeah, do you want to talk about just basically you can introduce yourself, who you are, and then who your father was, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sure. All right. So my name is Malia Montgomery. My father is Lionel Antoine Lewis. My father was beaten to death by the Minnesota Police, the Hibbing Department, July 14th, 2002. We're focusing on getting my dad's case reopened.
All right, I'm Tashawn Antoine Lewis. I'm the oldest child of Lionel Lewis, also his only son. And I'm here. I came out here from Chicago to bring my sister for her birthday and also celebrate this march, celebration of our father's life. We're pretty much looking for justice for our dad, like many other families who have been hurt and affected by this, by police brutality and social injustice. We're just looking to bring justice like everybody else is. We need the statute of limitations changed, because just because it happened back in 2002 doesn't mean it didn't happen. So we just need justice for our father, because I was blessed to have him. She was a baby when it happened, unfortunately, but I had him for 7 years. So I do have a few memories from him, and everything was love. He was a great man, showed love to everybody around him. So I really know that he did not deserve to go like this. So we're just getting justice for our father, and we're speaking up not only for our father, but all of the other families who have been affected by this. So that's what we're out here for, just to show love, show peace, and do it the right way, too. Yes, sir.
And so you said that you were 7 when he passed?
Yes, sir.
And I know that you might not have had memories of him, but can you talk about your favorite memories of him?
Yeah, I remember, man, he used to always put me up over his shoulders and walk me around everywhere. We always used to play basketball. That's why basketball's still my favorite sport to this day. I watch it all the time. The last time I actually hung out with him, spent time with him, he came out here to Chicago, and we was in Indiana with his side of the family, and he took me to the court. I remember like it was yesterday. He took me to the court, was showing me free throws, and that was the 4th of July, and he was killed on July 14th. So I was going out there that next weekend to catch him right before he left, and I just missed him. So that was the last memory I had of him, but it was all love. He never wanted me to go. Every time I was about to leave, he'll be pointing on his cheek like this to give him a kiss, but he'll just keep pointing 5-10 minutes, like I wouldn't be leaving. So I'm going to always carry that with me, and I'm going to make sure to show that love to my kids when I'm blessed with them as well. Yes, sir.
So can you talk about what is it like not to have him now? After having him in the first years of your life, and then can you talk about what it's like to just grow up knowing that your father won't come back, and knowing what happened?
Right. It is pretty tough. Like I said, I do hold on to those memories like for the rest of my life, but I'm pretty much like when they show the pictures, you're going to see I'm like his spitting image. So I'm reminded of him every day. I look in the mirror, but I'm motivated by it more than anything. I feel like I'm honestly a second chance at life, honestly. But seeing him, looking in the mirror every day, it just reminds me of him. But it makes me smile more so nowadays than sad. But of course, we're going to get justice for him. But it was pretty tough growing up, though, most definitely.
All right, so growing up without my dad was really hard on me. I thought about it all the time growing up. I always thought my dad's not going to be at my graduation. My dad is not going to be there to walk me down the aisle at my wedding. My dad won't be there for his grandchildren. My dad just won't be here, and that's just hard on me as a person because my dad should be here.
Can you talk about the case that happened? I know maybe you all don't even have access to all the details, but can you talk about the details that you do know, and then your version, and also compare it to the state's version?
Yep. Okay, so my dad, the police were called to a domestic violence call at Day Lake in Hibbing, Minnesota. The officers pulled up with their guns drawn at my dad. My dad was then thrown to the ground. He was handcuffed and he was placed in the squad car. They shut the doors and the squad car wasn't running at first, and it was 90 degrees outside. And so my dad started to kick the windows trying to get out, somebody to turn on the air, do something for him, show him a little bit of humanity, regardless of what was happening beforehand. They then pulled my dad out of the car, claiming that he was not following what they needed him to do. They hog-tied him. They sprayed over 1 bottle of mace in his face. They put a spit bag over his head. They hog-tied him and then placed him back into the car when it was over 80 degrees without the squad car running. My dad's case was ruled as agitated delirium. My dad's case took almost a year to get the correct answers, and they weren't correct. So.
Can you talk about the diagnosing his death as agitated, what you say, excited delirium?
Right. Excited delirium.
Talk about that.
So, excited delirium, they used it as somebody struggling with mental health or drug use. Pretty much that they get so excited that they die, or so stressed that they die. Is not the case. Your eyeball cannot be out of the socket, your ribs cannot be broken, your skull cannot be cracked, and label it as agitated delirium.
It draws memories. Another case I heard this summer of Nakia Moody, who was also sort of like a mental crisis happened, and then the police sort of just killed her, and they labeled it as excited delirium or agitated delirium, and it seems like that's a go-to for them when they can explain certain situations that maybe to get away with things or to not be as transparent as possible?
Yep. So over 90% of cases ruled as agitated delirium are actually black men dying at the hands in the police custody. 90% of the deaths ruled as that. It's like a gateway for them to get out of being held accountable for murdering somebody.
Can you talk about like maybe steps that you think that can happen to stop that, to stop the ability for police to label deaths that they cause as agitated delirium?
I don't think that's a true cause of death. I think that the officers all need to be held accountable for what they're doing to our community. It's not just my dad, Lionel Lewis, 18 years ago. It's family after family after family, and we're tired of watching that happen. Yeah.
Is anything else you'd want to say when it comes to being a black man? Your father has been labeled, you know, you're labeled. What is it? What do you think about when you think about your interactions with the police?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's something you grow up with since a child. You see it on the news every day. Now more than ever, especially with the smartphones. Pretty much, I've always been a peaceful person anyway, but I know sometimes that's not all you need to be safe when it comes to police brutality. So I always just make sure to, you know, speak calmly, not give them a reason, you know, keep my hands where they can see them and things like that. And that's pretty much why I show, like, don't get too agitated, because a lot of these bad cops are looking for a reason. So you can't give them a reason at all. You know, you just got to, I'm not going to say necessarily like just follow instructions, but be very peaceful, be very calm. You can be a little agitated, but just know how to go about it. Like, it's all about body language and how you move. And that's how I've always been. Like, I feel like I never start anything with anybody. If I'm ever in a problem, they pretty much started it, because I move the other way when I see drama. And a lot of people don't have that ability, but I feel like we all can have the ability to just kind of learn how to have more control over your emotions in a sense, and just kind of move about it in a peaceful way. You could talk to the cop and tell them that they're wrong, but it's all about, I feel like, how you do it too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a way that could help a little bit, but at the same time, cops just have to let up too at the same time, because we've seen people with their hands up still get shot and things of that nature. So honestly, it's no one thing to tell people to do, because they've tried it. We see it ended bad, but what I do is try my very best to just be very calm and yeah, not give them a reason, pretty much. That's how I move. Because, you know, we do have that stigma on us, like, every day. Like, people, they look at me when I walk in places, I'm tall, you know, I'm big, so people do kind of look. I've walked past women, they clench their purses before and things like that. I've never been that type of guy. So, you know, I don't hate them for it, but people are pretty ignorant to it. I think it's based on the media portraying a certain image of black men, not the positive one with their families. You always see the gang activity and things like that, which does happen, but it happens in a lot of other communities as well, different ethnicities. All ethnicities gangbang, but then all of them are loving as well. It's good and bad apples everywhere, and they always want to just show the bad apples from the black man. So they need to start pushing the narrative that there are great black men out there, because I've been around people that I've actually worked with that never interacted with black people. They get around that, they're like, wow, like, you know, they kind of surprised in the way that we're just so peaceful. We're peaceful people. So it's all about getting out there yourself, meeting these people and speaking to them. You're going to learn that we're human beings too, pretty much.
Real quick to draw off that, thank you for bringing that up too.
Yeah.
We have obviously the situation happened in Kenosha, where you have a black man, you have white police officers, and that's sort of out there a little bit. You know, Wisconsin has a history of being sort of racist. Minnesota does too. And so, drawing that correlation, when you're talking about racism, your father died up in northern Minnesota. Can you talk about, like, maybe the interactions? Have you been up to northern Minnesota?
I personally haven't. You know, I haven't been out there. I've only been to Minnesota probably, I think this is only my second time out here actually. You know, I've been more so Chicago. So I haven't been around, but I've been in areas where people kind of look at you funny, you know, for the color of your skin and things like that. So I do know the racial tension there in certain areas, but it's a lot of people, in my opinion, being ignorant. They're not like trying to get to know the people as humans and practice empathizing with other people. They just look at the stuff on the news and they kind of go out and build their own narratives. That's all. But I feel like if, like I said, you get out here and talk to people, you'll realize they're human just like you, and you probably have a change of heart, I feel like. It's all about getting out there and learning for yourself how these people move. Don't let the news push a certain narrative to you, because it's all negative most of the time anyway.
When it comes to reopening the case, there's a statute of limitations. What is your hope for the future to just stop the statute of limitations altogether? Do you hope to broaden it a few years? What is your hope?
I think the statute of limitations should be gone, because why is it that a murder can happen and they'll solve it 30 years later? Why can we not have that justice for our dad 18 years later? A lot of times the people don't realize that there's a lot of family behind it. My family actually lives in Hibbing, Minnesota. So when I go to Hibbing, Minnesota, I tend to be the only person of color in every place I walk into. And I feel that every time I'm there. We actually have a change.org petition going. It has over 120,000 signatures. So we're trying to get that out there even more.
What's the name of it, and can you talk about what's in it? Because I think I wanted to ask you another question regarding what's in it.
Okay, so in the change.org petition, it's just asking to reopen the case. I don't know what else to say.
So there were some details, I feel like, that were written in there, talking about also a lawsuit that was about to be filed. Did I read this right?
No, I don't think that's ours.
Okay,
No.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what's the name of the change petition that people can...
It's called Reopen the Case of Lionel Lewis.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you. Anything else you'd want to say in regards to your father? Is your birthday, you're dedicating your birthday to your father. Anything else you'd want to say?
I just want the focus of my birthday not to be on me, but my dad. Yeah.
And I just want to say, same thing. We're going to find justice for our father, and I just want to let you know, sis, I'm very proud of you. This whole event was because she found the details. She went out and got all the people. She brought me from Chicago. So without her, we wouldn't be seeing any of this. So I'm very proud of you, and just keep doing your thing. We're going to bring justice to our father. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. For sure.
You're a mini him, I'm telling you.
I'm Nico.
Joanne.
Oh, word. Good to meet you. Yeah, sorry for your loss. Do you want to talk at all?
I get really emotional, so I just kind of. All I gotta say is that he was 26 years old when he died, and look at him. He looks exactly like him. Yeah.
Can I show the screen on you?
His character is so much like him as well. He's a lovely young man. His character is just like his dad.
Really?
Yeah, he was a good man.
What do you miss most about him?
So many things. I had them all written down earlier. He was just a really good man. He was. I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's okay. You don't. What is You have
he was very selfless. He was very giving. He was very. He was amazing. He was a very generous person. Very selfless. Never thought of himself. He always put others first, and he was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry. You want ice cream? This one's not open.
Oh, I'm okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
Bless you. Sorry.
That was the child's father, the children's father of Lionel Lewis that we were just speaking to. I keep getting whispered in my ear by a lot of people that there's a lot going on downtown. A lot of people are down there at the moment. We're going to wrap this stream up here, and we're going to get downtown. Again, you heard about Lionel Lewis. You just heard from his two of his children, speaking about his encounter with police and his death. 1 second.
You really shouldn't waste your time at these liberal ones. What? Oh, you know.
Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you.
Let it fall. Let it go.
Thank you.
You just look like you needed some.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to do an outro real quick. Give me a few moments.
Yeah, you do it.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How you doing? Good.
All right, so we're gonna bring the stream down. Thank you all for tuning in to the stream. This was a march for Lionel Lewis. Lionel Lewis was 24 when he died after a police encounter in Hibbing, Minnesota, or after with Hibbing police up in Virginia, Minnesota, I believe. find out more information about Lionel, we have a quick post on our website. We had spoke to. Hey, what's up? How are you?
Good. Thank you for getting our arrest.
Yeah, for sure.
This is what it's from their boots.
You want to talk? You want to talk about it at all?
Sure.
You want to be on camera or no?
Nah.
Okay.
So we were walking back from the protest, the solidarity protest, and two guys pulled up on bikes, and they approached me and were like, "Hey, just so you know, we're listening to the scanners right now. The cops are tracking you and your friends." It was me and about 7 others, and so I was on like high alert. So we were like, "Okay, let's just walk to our car. Let's just walk to our car," which is what we were planning on doing, and. We were half a block from the car, and they must have known where we were parked because they came from around the corner where the car was. Probably like 15 to 20 bike cops, and then 5 to 7 squad cars with 2 cops each. They just yelled, "You're all under arrest, get on the ground, get on the ground," and basically just tackled us and placed us under arrest. Didn't tell us for what. They put us in the squad cars, and when I got in the squad car, it was interesting because the police didn't even know where they were taking us. You know, they were like, "Where are we going? Where are we going?" And the one officer was like, "Just follow so-and-so." So they ended up taking us behind an auto zone and holding us there for about 45 minutes. And I was released because they had reviewed the security footage and found that I didn't commit any arrestable actions. So they released 3 of us behind the auto zone, and then it was my other comrades. They drove off with them, didn't tell us where they were taking them. And yeah, so we've been camped out in front of the jail ever since, waiting for the release of our comrades. And we got the last one out. Oh, I gotta go, they're leaving. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. That was a person who was arrested 2 days ago after the Justice for Jacob Blake rally in solidarity with Kenosha. So people are setting up here at Father Hennepin Park. We just heard from Lionel Lewis's family members, his daughter and son. Lionel Lewis was killed after an interaction, died after an interaction with police, killed by police in in June or July in 2002. There was also a protest that happened today for Lionel Lewis in Hibbing. Thanks, Jen, for that gem. Jen, thank you for running back in. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. We're going to bring the stream down. It's now starting to sprinkle here in Minneapolis, and I'm hearing there's a group of maybe 200 people downtown, possibly throwing rocks at police. We're going to make our way over there and try to bring another stream back up if the weather permits. If it doesn't, then we will just take video and try to report. Thank you all. Again, unicornriot.ninja is our website, and our Twitter, UR_ninja, and check out our media. Peace, y'all. Have a good night. We will try to be back if weather permits. Pay attention to what's happening in downtown Minneapolis tonight if you are around. Bye. Thank you.
No problem. You guys are my friend Michelle. I've been listening in on your feed.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you.